Hello there, and of course welcome to the first game of the league play here at the ASUS ROG DreamLeague Season 3. I'm Odie Pixel, I'm here with Draskell, and we're ready to get ourselves straight into the draft, so if you guys want to come and join us, we can give you the lowdown on what's happened so far. So Draskell, first pick Beastmaster, notable bans, we see the Magnus Respect ban by Empire, and DK second ban after the Lesh first ban. What do we make of this?
Against Empire. I mean, they've been known to run DK in the past, and with DK buffs, probably don't want to give resolution that hero. You said you probably wanted to see it at some point today.
I did, and it's not going to be
you wanted
today.
to see Magnus too.
I did.
We're not going to see either of them, I don't think.
It's going to be an awful game.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate. I like the Shadow Demon reaction to Beastmaster for obvious reasons. Like, sure, it's good against the Roar, but even more than that, like later on into the game, or even early into the game, like, if you pick something like Abaddon just to counter Beastmaster Roar, it makes your lanes kind of susceptible to getting countered, and Abaddon's not really seen as the strongest laner. So giving you something that can also set up and play defensively throughout the entire game, I think is better. It gives you more options than just going straight in to an Abaddon pick. And the Visage is another hero who kind of got buffed, takes 4 hits now to kill familiars instead of just having a flat amount of HP.
Yeah,
so
indeed,
during the late game, your familiars can't just get blown up by other heroes. So it makes Gyrocopter a bit worse in that sense. And, you know, I think it's going to be a lot of global from Team Empire. Like just having Beastmaster Hawk and birds flying around and potential like bots coming in and things, there's going to be a lot of potential for Empire to take fights. Whereas basically Unknown, they kind of have a pretty open style of what they can adopt right now, which is a Zeus and a Shadow Demon.
Yeah, it's very open indeed. And Zeus, of course, is one of the heroes that basically Unknown, at least as a team, really respect. He's very high up there in terms of pick rate and ban rate, which I guess he was with a lot of teams in 6.83. I mean, obviously new patch, Zeus himself, do you think he's just as strong as ever? Is there anything that's kind of hindered or improved the hero?
I think he's still insane.
Yeah.
Zeus is one of those heroes that, unlike most intelligence, like pure damage dealing heroes, he actually scales very well into the late game, just because of static field, of course, but the way that people play him now also lends itself to late game, because most people just farm Bloodstone, and then you just farm a lot, and you just use your ulti to scout, use your ulti to steal damage, force the enemy team to go back, and that utility can be very strong since Rubber Banding mechanic is not as powerful as it once was. So yeah, I do think that he definitely has a place pretty much throughout the entirety of the game. And like 8 Mother said, Gyrocopter being favored here, picked third, but still really solid carry hero. Very good during the early game. Like his damage output is completely insane. Plus, with Shadow Demon, you could even run the support if you wanted to. Like just Shadow Demon, Gyro. Disrupt is pretty much a dead hero.
Oh, that's a good point. And talking about the Gyro as well, I mean, it wasn't basically Unknown, it was Vega we saw who did actually put him in the mid lane in a game. Say it is going to be the Beastmaster in the mid lane for Empire. Do you think they could put Gyro up against that, or is that you don't really want to kind of put Gyro in that position? You want to make sure you secure his farm?
You can definitely put him mid. It just depends on if they want to use Zeus as a support or not. But that's the strength of a Zeus pick in general, is it can be support, it can be like dual lanes, it can be mid Zeus. He can go pretty much anywhere. It just depends on what kind of cores you want to go for. And since Empire have really only picked Beastmaster Visage, they haven't shown too much of their hand, except for the fact that they've just picked really strong heroes. And Rubik, actually third here from Empire. I'm guessing it's more about the null field than anything else.
Okay.
Like, yeah, you can steal a couple of useful spells from basically Unknown, but between having like the new pipe, if they get one of those up, and you have null field on top of that, you get like 30% just free magic resist for the entire team, which is pretty substantial.
Certainly not bad at all. And now basically Unknown with this 4th pick, maybe this will start to clear up the lanes for us a little bit more. I mean, is there anyone that you kind of feel that could be picked that will kind of complement the Shadow Demon, for instance, with terms of setup potential?
Darkseer would actually be really good against these heroes, I think, for basically Unknown. Like, you put him in the off lane, and like Rubik and Visage are not really that great early on, unless you have another hero who does a lot of damage, because you need a way to stack Soul Assumption. And right now it's like Rubik, you either get lift at level 1 or you get Fade Bolt, and you're going to get lift like 99% of the time. So they're not going to have a real disable for the Darkseer in the first place, and you can punish the lane really hard. So maybe we'll see. The purple man picked up, and Vacuum in a cooldown is great, you know, if you can land it. And it's not super hard to combo because the cooldown AoE is so large that you can just get like a Blink Dagger at some point and just blink in and just pull him right in.
Okay, well, we'll see if the old DS does come out. Well, it's going to be a purple guy, but the different purple guy.
So it's mid-Zeus. Yeah, it's mid-Zeus from basically Unknown. So Empire now know that it's just going to be Gyro, Shadow Demon support. And Witch Doctor is always strong. Like in every single composition, there's very few times where I would say Witch Doctor isn't good. If he gets to Aghanims, he's an absolute monster during a team fight, and something else that you're going to have to address. Luckily, Empire do have Visage Birds, so even if the Beastmaster is not able to roar, the Rubik can steal Death Ward too, and that pick actually makes Rubik better.
Yeah.
Because Cask and Death Ward are both very good spells to steal, and Death Ward is very easy.
Yes.
Like you just wait for him to channel, and he's like, boop, got Death Ward. No big deal. All right, Phoenix pick here from Empire.
Okay, so now with the Phoenix, it's looking to cement the Beastmaster into the mid lane as we were kind of expecting. We're seeing him a little bit more now in the mid lane than the off lane, and I guess if anything, just down to the fact that he has received buffs, obviously at 6.84, and I mean all around he's just a very strong hero that can dominate the lane.
Yeah, Beastmaster is, I think, gonna be the hero, like 8 Mother was saying a little bit earlier. I don't understand why they gave him more base damage. Beastmaster already hit really hard. Like he's one of the hardest hitting heroes, I think, for melee. Like outside of your Tiny and your Treant Protector and stuff like that. So he's going to be an absolute monster. And they will ban Razor. So they are planning on... Oh wait, never mind. Basically a known banned Razor. I thought Empire did. I had my teams mixed up there for a second. So yeah, that one's a little bit odd to me. They're just banning out really strong mid laners. But Mag is already banned, so I'm not sure. Oh, they do ban Darkseer. Okay, so Empire were thinking the same way that I was. That DS would be very good.
I mean, so
punishing their lineup.
with the Razor ban, I guess they were anticipating a potential, safe lane Razor? I mean, would it really have been a safe lane Beastmaster and
I don't know, it's a little bit strange, actually, that they banned Razor. I mean, it's good against Gyro, I guess, if you get, like, BKB. But I don't actually see it being super strong. I'm wondering what their idea was with that ban, actually. Because normally you can look at a ban and you can think about it and be like, okay, this makes sense. This is why they would do this. But who knows? Maybe they want to do some kind of... No, they wouldn't do a dual lane. Not a dual lane mid, at least, not with this lineup. They are going to pick up the Axeman.
Okay. Okay, so now with this Axe, I guess it is looking to be the solo lane Axe.
Yeah.
And now that kind of begs the question, with the Gyro Witch Doctor Shadow Demon, do you run this aggressively?
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
You actually could very easily. Against these supports that are like incredibly weak, Empire are going to have to pick a very easy hero to farm with. Like, if basically I don't go aggressive and they just put the Beastmaster 1v1 versus the Axe, I think that's the matchup that basically I don't want. Like, they want the Beastmaster against the Axe. Then it would be okay for them. But depends on what they're going to do with the Phoenix. Because if it's just going to be like... Maybe they're going to do dual lanes from Empire. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess they... yeah. Well, who would they put with the Phoenix? The Rubik, or...?
Yeah, you either do like Phoenix Rubik, I guess, or Phoenix Beastmaster, something like that. Like, you kind of want a tanky hero with the Phoenix a lot of the time, because Bore Slow and Dive together, like, plus a damage over time, like, you would be able to kill supports pretty easily. Like, if Shadow Demon gets caught by that, even a Disrupt probably wouldn't be able to save you. But we will find out. As these picks are a little bit unconventional. Like, the Visage makes sense, because he got buffed. And the Rubik, like, just from the sense of mid-game, like, having null field, being able to steal now even better stuff that they've picked up Witch Doctor and Axe is always going to be nice.
10 seconds.
Yeah, the final 10 seconds now. This final pick for Empire will hopefully clarify the laning and stuff. And well, the full out push here. The Lycan Beastmaster Visage. Yeah, I mean, it's not a good game to be a tower.
Yeah, like I was saying, like Lycan DK, that's what Empire loved to do. And that was what I think they were most successful with. Like, that patch is when they were just dominating pretty much every single team. So they are going back a little bit towards what they are very, very good at, which for Empire is obviously a lot of things. But we are in game now, so we can go over the teams.
Let's do it. All right, Basically Unknown up against Team Empire. We, of course, must mention these are best of twos. Well, not best of two, the 2-game series. We're not going to see best of threes anymore as we are into league play. And, well, this is the first match of it. And over on the side of Empire, who have we got? We've got a low hard dance. He is going to be on his Rubik. You can have Always Want to Fly on the Visage. Silent on that safe lane Lycan. Mid lane will indeed be the Resolution Beastmaster. And that's going to leave Ivan on the off-lane Phoenix. I'm ODPixel. I'm here with Draskell. And Draskell, tell us what's going on the side of Basically Unknown.
All right, so first and foremost, we got the Pure Evil here. He's been playing on that Witch Doctor. And next to him, we're going to have Nico Baby. He's playing on the Gyrocopter. Above him is Insolent, is his tag, but he wanted to be called something else.
Stomanen.
Stomanen. Okay, so that's what we're going to call him now. He's going to be playing on the Shadow Demon. Then we have Rise playing Zeus, and finally Shaklo, who is standing in for Mind Control, who is not here.
Yes, they don't have Mind Control, and I mean, we're talking about it, Mind Control. Very strong player.
Yep. Also the drafter for the team.
Indeed. So this is a little bit of a hit to basically know. But Shashlo, you know, he's obviously got a lot of competitive experience, used to be on Power Rangers. So he's still a very strong player, and we'll see what he's going to be able to do on the Axe. And I mean, talking about the Axe's lane here, which actually they're reacting to this very nicely. So Empire, they're going to avoid the aggressive tri-lane and go aggressive against the Axe. And I think in terms of lanes, this is the best move for Empire.
It's still going to be a bit hard unless they, okay, they are sending all 3 heroes.
Yeah.
I was going to say, even just a Rubik Lycan is not going to do that well against the Axe. But if they send all 3, then this is ideal. Yeah, maybe they were thinking before the Lycan pick that the Beastmaster would end up being off lane or some kind of weird lanes with a dual lane Phoenix, but it's just going to be a solo Phoenix now. So I'm sure Yvonne will not really be having a great time, but they'll also be able to keep the Axe down. And for basically Unknown's perspective, not having your Initiator get in the farm, I think, is a little bit worse than the Phoenix not getting farm for Empire, because they're not really waiting for an Initiator to get items. They're just waiting for a little bit of farm and a couple of levels, and they'll be able to fight just based off of that.
Yeah, exactly, and Axe, of course, is probably one of the better heroes on the lineup that would have been looking to stop the aggression and get himself straight into the front of the defense when the aggression started to come out from Team Empire. And indeed, if he doesn't have a great time in lane, that's certainly not going to be there. There's going to be a little bit of a wraparound towards the mid lane, as we do see Shadow Demon here. Oh, it's going to be the Hawk. Jesus, that Hawk. I was like, oh, it's the Courier. No, it's not. It's just the Hawk. The Hawk will go down. Snowman gets himself rid of the burden. Well, Resolution's got the backup of always want to fly here in the mid lane for the time being, as they're aware that Gyro's kind of been left alone on the top here. And I mean, this rotation from the side of basically Unknown doesn't seem to have accomplished too much as of yet. And it does look like the SD's just going to head himself back up to the top lane. Wish Doctor going to hang around in the middle, so we've got this kind of dual lane situation. Now, in terms of lanes, who's coming out on top here?
Well, just from like the perspective of the Axe, maybe not getting as much as he wants to out of lane. Out Disruption here, top lane.
Very nice, and the Rocket Barrage doing a lot. The Creep Wave is coming in and does tank up a fair bit of the burst damage. So Ivan is going to be lucky to get himself away there. Purivolt's going to get lifted up, and Rubik says thank you for that bounty rune. But still 2 minutes in, well, a little bit of scuffles going in between the two sides, but no one being put on the edge of their life as of yet.
Yeah, this is actually pretty smart, though, from basically Unknown. Even in the aggressive tri-lane situation, they make one person move. Shashbo already has a pretty easy lane on his hands, so I think he might not have as hard of a time as we were originally anticipating. And even if they did decide to go like purely aggressive, they would have to actively look for the Axe in the jungle to really stop his farm entirely. And if you do that, then it's just like 2 supports who are really only addressing one issue, and then your middle lane, Arise, is still going to be farming. Resolution will get his farm too, so that's more of a trade. And then top lane, of course, the Gyro is going to be having a good time. So all in all, I'd say that the lanes are relatively even. It just depends on what the Axe is able to do with his Blink Dagger and how Empire are going to go about like trying to push in, or if they want to try to secure an early Roshan for their Lycan, because that's always kind of, it's got to be on your mind when you're playing against that hero.
I mean, talking about the lineup of Empire, and we're expecting some aggression to come out from them. What exactly are they going to wait for before they start to get, you know, the gears going? Is it going to be Resolution hitting 6? Is it going to be once Lycan has had a successful Roche attempt? I mean, what's going to be the go-ahead?
Well, you definitely want your Phoenix to be 6 if you're going to be fighting. So Yvonne needs to make sure that he gets his Supernova going, because that's really big for these early team fights. A lot of the heroes on basically Unknown are kind of squishy. So Witch Doctor, for example, not great health, even though he has a heal. Shadow Demon is the same. No one's going to be getting like early BKB, so the AoE damage they have is actually fairly high. And you can burst pretty heavily with just a Soul Assumption, a couple of Fire Spirits, and a Fade Bolt. Bottom lane.
Shashlo is going to get the call off. Lower Darts there with the Telekinesis, trying to get Shashlo into tower range. The Paralyzing Cuts bounces back towards Silent the Lycan, but it's not going to be enough for anyone to fall here. Silent does get himself low, but he's got himself a salve to go, so he's A-okay.
Top lane, Nico's kind of suffering here as his supports have kind of left him in the dust, but could maybe see something happening here. Disruption is very dangerous with the Gyro.
Wrapping around with the Disruption, Soul Catcher will latch as well, and in he comes with the Rocket Barrage, the Lightning Bolts from the rotating Zeus. Very nice, and very nice first blood there, of course, for Nico on the Gyro. And of course, he's been farming final anyway so far, 21 CS in the lane, so all in all, things looking very nice for the Gyrocopter.
The lanes are definitely favoring basically Unknown in terms of at least farm. Like they're getting a tiny bit more out of it. I think Empire are fine with it though. as long as they make a mid-game transition where they can take a couple of good engagements. They're not as reliant on their item progression though. Silent, getting caught here with a cast.
Ooh, Shafto tries to get in with the call there, but will get telekinesis up by Aloha Dancing. In comes the TP from Always Wanna Fly in the Visage, seeing if they can kind of turn this one around, give a bit of a punch to the backside of Pure Evil, but he'll be able to get himself out, and Shashla, he just goes straight back in, he's not scared. Top lane, Ivan's going to find Stomanen. Stomanen going to find Ivan, he's trying to duke it out through the tree lines here. We'll tick down a little bit to the Fire Spirits, but again, no one going down on this top lane still. 5 minutes in, the top CS is on the board. It is Yajari and it is Yurak. So even though with this aggressive dual lane, tri-lane that's been switching itself out, the fact that Shashlo can do as he's doing now, just head into the jungle, find the farm, you can probably still expect to see pretty decent item growth on this Axe at a pretty decent pace.
For sure. He's going to have his blanket probably like 10 or 11 minutes. That's what I would expect. Especially since he already has his tranquils up. You can also just leave the lane to a support, which is a luxury that Empire don't really have. Their heroes, except for the Lycan, don't really jungle that effectively. So in order to get efficiency out of their game, their supports kind of have to gank, or they have to secure farm for Silent and maybe try to get a little bit of extra experience for the Phoenix. But even Ivan, he's been left alone, kind of. So he'll be able to hit 6. And once he does that, anytime they play over-aggressive
Well,
at
what
all...
are these range creeps doing here, Andy?
I don't actually know. I think they're drunk. Because they're just like running into tier 3 towers. It was a little bit interesting. But yeah.
I'm guessing they maybe got pulled away by the Lycan walls, potentially?
Yeah, they must have just aggroed somebody. Because sometimes when creeps get dragged away, yeah, they just go to like their predetermined point, which is run down the lane that they were meant to go to, but they take the shortest path, which sometimes, like the towers can't be hit if the tier tower before it hasn't been killed, obviously, so they're invulnerable. And then they just walk in and die. They become lemmings.
Alrighty, 1-0 at the moment, 6.5 minutes in. Mid lane, the Beastmaster versus Zeus is still pretty even, still pretty fair, and Beastmaster, of course, with the Staff of Wizardry and the Belt of Strength, working towards his Necrobooker missile. Will be flying forward onto Ivan, and bottom lane, the cast bounces onto Silent, and now onto Rubik. Shashlo looking for the call, but now they're going to turn it around with Resolution coming in with the axes. They do manage to bring down Lycan, but not, it was after Axe died, so the XP isn't going to be there for the side of Basically Unknown. And a 1-for-1 trade here in the bottom lane, and a very nice reaction there from the side of Empire.
I'm wondering if he was actually in cull range when he got that first spin. I don't know if it was a slow reaction or he was still like not able to react to it, but I think it might have been possible for him to cull before he died there. It would have been a little bit better. He's not like he's having a terrible game, though.
This Witch Doctor needs to be careful. As Beastmaster here, and he does have the Primal Roar. Now's the backup from Shashlo, so it's going to be a little bit harder of a fight for Empire to take if they do want to try and push it. Beastmaster, he's coming in with Silent from the backside. Shashlo trying to get himself in with the Battle Hunger. There's your Roar onto the Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor's down. Shashlo, he's all alone now. He's still trying to find this Rubik, but they're just kiting him. Shashlo pops the call out. Silent comes in, and now the call down coming from Nico as he scares off the big bad wolf, but the wolf is not scared. There's the backup of Ivan as well on the Phoenix now. The Spirits and the Axe is flying through onto Nico. He'll get himself back behind the tower. There's going to be defend as well. TP into lane from Stomanen on the Shadow Demon. But again, just the Roar there getting the kill on Witch Doctor. Other than that, both teams being able to keep their sides alive.
Really solid bait coming out from Aloha Dance there. Just hook, line, and sinker, right? Like he walked forward, he's like, come and get me, I know you want it. And then the Axe just walks in. Absolutely no vision on the side of Basically Unknown and bottom lane, so he was going in blind. They just placed a fresh ward, and it even gets scouted out, so Empire already know it's there. Probably gets dewarded within like the next minute or two. But still, pretty solid early game coming out from Empire. They are losing out on the CS department, but again, their team doesn't necessarily need to farm that much. It's more about what they can do during the mid game. Like their team fight is obviously very good, with the Phoenix still pretty much being left to his own devices. And as soon as the Beastmaster starts getting his book up, you're gonna see some push.
And the Shadow's picked up on Rubik and Silent, closing in on his Vladimir's. And, I guess to be fair, with the lineup that they've got, once he's got the Vlads, they're with the Beastmaster and the Visage Familiars as well, they should be able to take Roshan fairly quickly. Yeah,
new Vlads is OP. Everyone life steals. So yeah, it's going to be pretty solid. I wonder if he actually finishes Medallion before he goes Vlads. Some Lycans do that. Some Lycans go like Medallion into Vlads, and some Lycans go Vlads into Medallion. I think the early Medallion is much better for jungle speed.
Okay.
If you're just like off-map farming all the time and leaving your lane open for other heroes. But since he was laning a lot, I guess that's why he opted to go for this build. And Headdress is still a value item, right? Like if you can get the regen from it, like 3 health regen and 2 stats is pretty cheap. considering the cost, and it only takes 1 inventory slot.
Oh, smoke up from a low hard dancing Resolution and Shashlo. Oh, he's so low here. He gets Fade Bolt and the Raw's even thrown in as well. I mean, Resolution wanted that axe dead, and he's certainly going to be dying very quickly. But Silent, now the return smoke gank from the Radiant supports.
Wait, he lost his boots.
Oh.
He lost his boots.
Oh, he lost his tranquils. Did he lose his tranquils?
They get the Lycan picked off.
Oh,
Yeah, he did, because
no
he just
brought him. Yeah.
He just bought brown boots, so he definitely did lose his tranquils.
Oh, that's a little bit painful.
And the sad face comes out.
Ah, okay.
I was like, wait a minute. I clicked on him when he died, and I was like, wait, he doesn't have his boots. Oh, God, that is the reverse stream.
Oh, this is not good now, because, I mean, Resolution, he's got the Necro book finished up. Yes, okay. It's all right. They've got a gyro. I mean, the gyro, I was going to talk about its skill build. Maxing out flat cannon, just the 1 point in barrage and 2 in the missile. That's a full-out defensive gyro, isn't it?
Well, it's more farming based.
Yeah, farming, yeah.
Yeah, this is the build that you do when you want to take like ancient stacks and such.
Yes.
But I mean, no one's really had time to stack. It's just been the Axe is farming for his dagger, which has been delayed because he just died and he lost his boots. So that's at 800 gold down the drain, and he has to spend another like 450 on the boots themselves. So he is much farther away from his blink. Like he should have had blink and tranquils right now.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. It's a little bit of a blunder, but maybe they can bring it back from there. It's still 3-3 on the board, and still net worth-wise, as we were saying, both the Gyro and the Zeus farming very, very well. Lycan walls here from Empire on the bottom lane. Silent just scouting out the push. The push will certainly come into man, and he's looking for a disruption here, and he's going pretty deep. And, well, just TP, but the Familiars are going to be there, holding the Shadow Demon in place, and Staman, and he will defensively disrupt himself. And with these TPs coming in, I don't think the Shadow Demon's getting out, and it looks like Arise won't either as the low hard dance comes in. And now he's your roar onto Nico. They've lost the Shadow Demon, they've lost the Zeus. They might lose the Gyro as well with the slow from the boars, and Empire just coming in with the full-out aggression. Double kill for a low hard dance on this Rubik, and basically I know they're just all over the place then.
Empire are just outmaneuvering. Like, that's kind of the advantage that a Beastmaster gives you, though. Like, they've seen everything that's been going on basically a known side of the map. So they have, like, 3 wards down. They're all aggressive. The Beastmaster Hawk is scouting every area they can't actually see with the wards. And then they just go for kills. De-warding is also going to be extremely easy for them once Resolution finishes his book 3, and he's only 100 gold away from the second level recipe.
Oh boy, 12 minutes in, this is... TP into the mid lane from Visage. Well, over to on the Grave Chill on Shashlo. Now he's going to let Shashlo get away. The backup of Empires, and then in fact, Visage might in a bit of trouble. We'll get the chill onto Shashlo, and now with the Boar Slow, in comes the Phoenix with the Supernova. The disruption actually holding Axe near the Phoenix, but they do still kill the Supernova. They lose Axe's life. Deathfall gets thrown down. Nico's found himself a double kill, and now he might be in trouble himself. There's going to be a cooldown landing on the Rubik, catching him on the tip. Nico, he is still alive, trying to bring that Rubik. He'll find it. It's a triple kill here for your Gyrocopter, Nico baby. And Empire, well, they try and defend the middle tower, and it just all goes to pot.
Well, honestly, the Visage played that about as well as he could have. He got the kill on the Axe, and he denied the tower against, like, 3 heroes, so big plays coming out. Yeah, it wasn't great for Empire, but getting the tower deny, I think, made it semi-okay. And plus, the Axe died first, and he was the only casualty. Didn't get any money from any of that, so still no Blink Dagger at 13 minutes. I mean, this is getting, like, it's not super bad timing, but obviously you want to have had it by now. Like getting a couple of really key ganks off, or maybe even being able to counter-initiate 1 or 2 times when your team is trying to fight and getting a handful of kills. Like Silent, he's died twice, but he's still got his Vlads going. And he has enough to finish Medallion, I believe, if he wants to do that. And then Roshan's already on the table.
Oh, Shashlo.
Oh, God, they know.
Oh, Shashlo. Wait, where's his Tranquils?
The warding from Empire is so good.
Oh, he didn't finish the last call, right?
Like, Empire know exactly what's going on.
Resolution might be in trouble, though. The bounce is coming through Nico with the cooldown. He's going to find himself some more kills here going into Resolution with the Rocket Barrage. Now with the Shadow Demon holding this poor old Rubik in place. A low hard dance. He's going to go down as well. It's more kills for the Gyro. Gyro just having an absolutely... an amazing game, 6.5k net worth, and a ton of kills under his belt. They do lose Roshan, though, to the Empire.
I don't want to say they lost those 2 on purpose. The Lightning Bolt consequently also got them de-warded, so they went from having a lot of vision to pretty much no vision of the enemy side of the map. It's going to be up to Resolution now if he can maintain vision on the key heroes and try to continue picking off that Axe. Like, every time he dies, it's like another minute on his Blink Dagger timing, and that's extremely painful. Like, it's getting a little out of hand now, how many times he's actually died before he's finished it. And again, he still doesn't even have Tranquils. I think he'll have it before he dies again. But now it's just Aegis push timing. Empire probably going to start going for some tier 1s here.
Beastmaster and Rubik are in the neighborhood here in this top lane, but Shashlo heads to the side shop. There we go. He's got the blink. That's that hurdle over and done with. And there's also the backup of well, pretty much the rest of his side here is all of the Zeus and the Shadow Demon and the Jarret head up here to see if they can make something happen with this Axe blink. No. Poison coming out. Lightning Bolt trying to scout, see if there's any vision here from Empire. Empire, they've got the Hawk right back by the tier 1, and that of course did catch this movement from basically Unknown up into the lane, and yeah, Empire playing it safer. I mean, if they're going to get caught out, they want to make sure that everyone's there so they can counter it with the Supernova, which is back and available for the Phoenix if the fight kicks off on this top lane.
Well, I think it will. We're a smoke here from Empire. Resolution's only like 400 gold away from his book 3. He is pretty darn farmed at this point. And obviously Silent's been left alone for quite a while, so these heroes just getting more and more as time goes on.
There's going to be disruption here onto the Lycan, and Paralyzing Cast coming through as well, and of course bouncing between the walls, and with the Death Ward, Silent could be in a bit of trouble here. He's taking a fair bit of damage, will go down to the Thunder God's Wrath. He's got the Aegis for round 2, but where's the rest of the side of Empire? They're killing the Zeus, that's what they're doing, but they're not going to be able to save the Lycan. Lycan does go down, so 1-for-1 trade. And maybe even more now as Empire with a little bit of a wraparound. They need to be careful because Nico, he's still got a double damage active on him. And yeah, Empire looks like they're trying to be as sneaky as possible. Don't want to get caught out here again by basically Unknown. And will be able to get themselves out and away. Or maybe not Pure Evil coming in with Nico and Stamanen. Resolution on the high ground, there's a rocket onto him. Resolution could be in a bit of trouble. He does have the Primal Roar available. Aloha does. He's stolen the Death Ward. Can he do anything with it here? Paralyzing guys. Now, yeah, he pops it down and goes for Pure Evil. The Voodoo Restoration and the Berserker's Call, though, are enough to make sure that Rubik won't find anything for the time being with it. He does get a Fate Bolt onto the Witch Doctor, bringing him low. But look, out with the Jukes here, Shashlo, he's trying to kill this Rubik. This Rubik has taken a long time to go down. Zeus finally turns up and finishes off the job for them. But they also did lose the Beastmaster as well there, Empire. So 11 for 9. And some big tasty kills there picked up for the side of the Radiant. And I mean, Jarret, he is getting very scary, Draskell.
That was a pretty awful fight, actually, from Empire. Like, everything considered, what, they killed a Zeus? And up, initiation here, top lane.
Onto the Silent, and the cooldown's going to be there as well with the slow. This is a Lycan who doesn't have the ultimate. He's not going to have any potential of getting away. Death Ward was thrown down as well just to ensure he couldn't. But again, that's Empire throwing away another hero.
They're not functioning as well without the ridiculous amount of vision that the Beastmaster is giving them a bit earlier. Like, they have one ward down, and it's just like mid-tier 2 ward. But yeah, it's basically Unknown just having better rotations right now at this point. And I'm not sure why Silent was completely away from his team. Like, he was in the jungle alone when the rest of his team was smoked up, like looking for a gank. Like, even if he was trying to bait, he wasn't in a good position to be baiting in the first place because the team had to run in a really awkward angle to get to him. Basically Unknown in the meantime, they'll secure a tier 1 in the safe lane. And I feel like Empire maybe wanted to have accomplished a little bit more with their Aegis, but not going to happen.
Well, they're pushing the pressure being applied here by basically Unknown on the top lane. Empire, they've got a few heroes in the jungle, the Visage and the Phoenix at the moment, just rotating up towards the tier 2. But indeed, we can see the net worth. The Empire certainly had a lead, and in terms of XP as well, it's been pretty much swung around to the favor of basically Unknown. And I mean, in a game as well, where with Empire's lineup, they're really kind of playing for the earlier portions of this game compared to what basically Unknown have got.
Well, it's not like their team scales horribly or anything. Like, Lycan doesn't fall off until very late in the game, like 40 plus minutes maybe. And you still have Beastmaster, who cannot be underestimated during late game. Like, you get a blink, you get even like Aghanims and Refresher, and you can lock people down and deal a ton of damage during a team fight. It's a very, very good late game hero, especially with Inner Beast too. So, also can't underestimate Vision. It's not as if Empire couldn't win late game. It's just their lineup is very good still at this early stage, and I haven't really felt the impact of the Phoenix so much, other than the fact that the Ivana's just farming a lot. I mean, he's got all Ashivas and like 2,300 gold, which sounds like a lot, but at the rate he's farming, it probably won't take him too long.
And then finally, Axe has managed to pair himself back up with those Tranquils. Did indeed decide to go back for them. So 19 in, he's got his Tranquils back, so He's going to be happy with himself. And to be fair to the Axe, we've seen him make some big plays here with the calls, and especially after the pretty horrific start. Pretty much an Axe's worst nightmare there, losing the Tranquils in the early game.
Yeah, just imagine how nice it would have been for him if he didn't die like 3 or 4 times before his Blink Dagger.
Push coming in, Nico, and Stomana leading the way, and with the flat cannon will easily clear out the farm and the zoo that's been applied to this tower. And still Nico, the farm is getting very much out of control. 1,500 gold now on top of the quarter staff. There's going to be a primal roar onto Stomana, and whoa, with the axes and the Necros, that's a very dead Shadow Demon.
Beastmaster Hawk, man. Well, they did have a ward down there too, but still, Beastmaster Hawk giving vision over the trees. I think they get this for free. They could probably glyph it just to delay. Yep, they will. But they're going to get that tower down. It's no big deal. But yeah, they're going to rely on the gyro very heavily, like you were talking about for basically unknown. It looks like he's just going for a quick butterfly. Maybe he goes BKB after that. I guess you want to delay it as much as you can when you have the advantage and you don't actually need the magic immunity, especially when you're not trying to fight over Roshan or anything. So I do like the delayed BKB in this situation. I think it's the right call.
Towards the bottom lane they go. They've found the Lycan here at the moment. There's going to be a TP in from Aloha dance on the Rubik. The Shashla, Nico and Arise, are they ready to go? Are they ready to push? They do have the Thunder God's Wrath available. Stalling it for the time being. Arise waiting for the opportune moment just to try and scout exactly out where Empire are. On Empire, they do have 4 heroes down here. Everyone but the Beastmaster ready to defend. Aloha Dance trying to slow down the push here with the Fade Bolt. Tower will fall. Gyro will be able to get himself more gold in the pocket there, and looks like the pressure's going to continue. Stomana, he heads up the lane. That's Silent. He's just going to be clearing out the Ancients here. And he has now got his Necro book complete as well on top of the Vlads and the Treads.
A double Necro 3 is actually pretty terrifying to deal with. Like, support heroes just get eaten alive. We saw how fast Stomana died to the Beastmaster, right, when he got roared. So imagine 2 of those books.
Oh, Thunder God's Wrath is going to scout Resolution, but yeah. Nico doesn't feel like he can do anything on his own here against the Beastmaster, because Beastmaster, he's fairly tanky at the moment.
Yeah, but I think he couldn't die in a roar. I think he would need a second person to kill, because he doesn't do enough damage to kill Nico fast enough, and there would probably be a TP reaction from basically unknown before he actually dropped. So I think it's the right decision by Resolution to not go for this. Like, even with vision, it's very hard to justify going on this gyro. He has a lot of health.
I mean, talking about vision as well, it's obviously apparent that that's the aim of the game for Empire. And Rubik, 22 minutes in, he's picked himself up a gem, just so they can continue to maintain this map control dominance.
Yeah, with the Beastmaster Hawk and also having Necro 3, you should restrict all vision from the opponent. It's just a matter of the only ward really being up right now for basically known as the Roche ward, because they know it'll probably be up by the time that ward fades. And it's actually going to be up in like 2.5, 3 minutes, somewhere around there.
Oh, smoke up from the side of basically unknown and straight into the jungle. Resolution is just standing there, and he will be able to blink away in time. And it doesn't look like anyone on the side of BU will be able to catch him out. And they have to back themselves back up.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bummer, not being able to find anything with that. But that's kind of the risk that you run when you go for those ganks with no vision and not being able to see. It's just kind of rolling the dice. Maybe you get somebody, maybe you don't. I guess from their perspective, it was a pretty good timing because they didn't see anyone with their Roche ward. And they even smoke out of vision of it. So right now, basically unknown probably feeling oh, there's a scouting ulti. Okay. Very nicely timed there from Arise. He sees everyone off map, no lanes being pushed, no one around the Roshan pit, just throw an ulti out just to be safe. And it pays off.
Indeed, the power of the Zeus. 12 to 10 at the moment, 23 minutes. And how are we doing in terms of the graph? So we're still pretty even, I'd imagine. So this game feels pretty
they're taking
close.
the stack. That sucks.
Oh.
Yeah, that sucks bad.
Can they contest this though? They're not even aware, are they?
I mean, I'm sure they have an idea of what's going on. Like, from their perspective, it's either they're sitting in the jungle waiting to gank, or they're taking the stack. Because if they were rushing, I think they would know.
Well, they're not being able to do anything to stop it. And indeed, as you said, that's going to be a nice bit of gold swing and XP swing for the side of Empire.
Yeah, that's painful. They wanted that for the gyro for sure. He would have probably been very close to his butterfly if he was able to get that stack, but it just makes that smoke from Empire that much better. Like, not only do they smoke in a perfect spot to not get seen by any like normal warding, but they moved in a way where they were going to get something from the smoke even if they didn't get a gank. So they get positioning for either Roshan if it was going to spawn because they had a Visage Bird there the entire time, just scouting it out, or they were going to be able to take the farm away from basically unknown. And since they know they don't really have much vision, like they had a gem on the Rubik, right? So it served multiple purposes, and they put the gem, I think, back on the courier. Or wait, who's carrying it?
Yeah, Rubik bought one. Who did they give?
They gave it to Beastmaster.
They gave it to Beastmaster.
Resolution
okay.
has it. Yeah, it makes sense because he has Hawk. So.
Yes. Oh, Shashlo is going to be able to find Silent here with the call. And now Silent gets the ultimate off, and he might turn and fight. Nah, he's going to turn and run the familiar.
Bird stun, though.
Indeed, the 3-man stun holding them back. Where's your gyro? Well, he's wrapping around the back. He's looking for Ivan. And now he's going to decide to back himself up. Didn't quite have the damage to bring down the Phoenix.
Okay, that's the second time he's stolen Zeus ulti, by the way. Aloha Dance, the player of players.
Well, are they going to be able to continue this? Shashlo, oh, he blinks away as the blink in from Resolution did come. Primal Roar is up and ready. Indeed, 12 to 10. Not going to be able to follow this one up, and we're going to have a quick pause from Zeus. But, I mean, yeah, 24, 25 minutes in, it really feels like both teams definitely have what it takes to pull this one off.
I think basically Unknown are going to be the ones under the pressure for a little while, because the double book 3 timing is still fairly early, like 25 minutes in.
Yeah.
For 2 book 3s is pretty hard to deal with. Well, it'll be later than that, because he still needs around 650 gold to get that. Then you got your attack speed aura from the Inner Beast. Like, their damage potential is completely insane. And even barring that, if the axe accidentally calls like a book or 2, you could just die because you spin too much, you know? Stuff like that's really annoying. Or you just get all your mana burned, and then you can't call anyone.
Yes,
that's a super annoying effect as well. I think that Empire's lineup is going to feel very strong for about the next 10 to 15 minutes. And then if basically Unknown can't get anything done like before that time ends, like they want to just play passive and try to farm, then maybe go for a later game with a gyro, kind of like super carry and Zeus damage. I think that's also a pretty good plan for them.
I mean, as always, if this is going to be the go time for Empire, Visage does now have the Aghanims complete.
Yeah, that's what I mean, is like Empire's item timing is going to give their team a significant power spike. So like 2 book 3s soon, Aghanims on the Visage, Phoenix is going to have Shivas. Like everything is kind of coming together, and that's when basically Unknown want to feel not necessarily super defensive, but just cautious. Like don't take too many reckless engagements, because a full 5-man versus 5-man, I think Empire would pretty much steamroll them right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
like, it's just like all these big items being completed at the same time. It's like, why do we want to fight into that? Like, let our gyro finish Butterfly, let him get his BKB, and that way he can walk into a team fight and just be like, yo, even if you have books, I'm not going to take that much damage. And then later on, if he wants to transition into like Satanic after that, that makes his late game extremely potent.
I mean, even with the flat cannon, the fact that there's going to be 2 Necro 3s out, you
just kill yourself. Like it's actually very terrifying.
It's not fun at all to play against. There's a lot of ways that. I mean, even with the Zeus firing out bolts and light, you know, he might pop one over, and he's going to be taking that damage. Even with the Shadow Point, there's a lot of uncontrolled damage. That we might see some clowny deaths coming out from the side of basically Unknown. But I mean, obviously with Empire's draft, the way that they set out into this game, do you think are they going to be very happy with how it is at this stage? Do you think they imagined that it would be a little bit easy against basically Unknown? Well,
the laning phase was always going to be a little bit difficult, I think. I favor their early game supports more than Empire's, because Rubik Visage are pretty mediocre supports, like in the basic laning phase, but the later the game goes, the better Rubik gets, because his late game scaling with no field means Zeus is going to be less effective, call down and all of those other things are going to be not as good. And plus, like I said, being able to steal a Death Ward, Aloha Dance is still on Death Ward and 2 Zeus ultis so far this game. So he's shown that he's on his game, right? Like he's playing well. So he'll be able to get the high impact abilities, and I don't know, I just think that Empire, they might be too hard to fight into. Like they're gonna hold it onto their gem for a very long time. They're gonna consistently remove map control from basically Unknown. If they're allowed to get Roshan, I'd say that Empire feel pretty confident and at the very least just taking the last tier 2s and then trying to just choke them out by a pretty big gold lead. Maybe they even try to go high ground early with 2 books. I don't know, it's possible.
Certainly is, and yeah, I mean, Jar, how far is he off the Butterfly now?
I think he's pretty close. Pretty close, isn't he? Yeah, he's like 350 away, 340 away.
That's going to be nice. I mean, because there's no one on the side of. I guess maybe the Lycan might go for the MKB at some point, but
he's still gonna need BKB though.
Yeah,
and that's the problem that basically Unknown have is that until that gyro has BKB, you're like 100% reliant on your axe and your Shadow Demon to save him. So if they get an initiation and Nico dies before anybody is able to disrupt him or before the axe call comes in to counter initiate, the fight's already over. Like you just have to run at that point. So it kind of. I guess that itemization might hurt them a little bit, because now it seems a lot harder for them to contest Roshan due to not having magic immunity. So maybe BKB was the call here if they wanted to try to stop Empire from kind of getting their steamroll on. But seems like they'll be allowed to.
Yeah, I guess on the plus side for basically unknown, the last time we saw Empire with the Aegis was, of course, when Silent got caught out on his own, so they weren't really able to do that much with the Aegis under their belt.
Yeah, the first time it was really awkward. He was just off on his own, wasn't he? He was just like, yeah, I'm going to chill in the woods. The rest of my team's like on the other side of the map between the tier 1 and the tier 2. They traded a Zeus for 2 Lycan deaths. Definitely not worth, but I don't think Empire is going to make another mistake like that. And again, just like look at the warding from Empire. It's all hyper aggressive, and basically Unknown can't see a thing. They have to Zeus ulti just for vision, see where everyone is, make sure they're not dying. It's very hard to play the map right now for basically Unknown. Like, where do they go? Like, they have 3 heroes just sitting at the tower mid going, all right, well, we can't really go anywhere because we're terrified, and that leaves Empire free to just do whatever they want. And the thing is, too, for experienced teams, when you see them doing this, you know that they don't have vision. Because if they had vision, they would be making moves.
Here we go, onto the support, onto Pure Evil. And he will get absolutely blown up there by the Roar and, of course, the stolen Thunder God's Wrath still under the control of Rubik.
And those kind of ganks succeeding also kind of reinforces the point of them, like now you know they don't have vision. Because there's no way that gank works unless if they have wards, for example. So yeah, it's pretty tough right now. Right now, Empire, they kind of have a stranglehold over the map. It's going to be a while before basically Unknown are going to be able to break that.
I mean, we are talking about the fact that they've got a Jaren, a Zeus, I mean, even the Witch Dogs, they've got a lot of high ground defensive potential.
Yeah, it's a very strong team for fighting into a choke. There's no doubt about that. My biggest concern for them is trying to get out on the map and make something happen. Like for the probable next 15, 20-ish minutes, if the game keeps going this pace, Empire will just get more and more ahead over time. Even if Nico Baby was farming well before, now his farm's going to fall off just because they don't actually have anywhere to farm. Like the only thing they can do is wait for creep waves to come to them. They can't farm their own woods, and they need Gyrocopter BKB before they can do any fighting outside of the base.
Now, how much has Gyro got on top of the butterfly now? Is he finding any farm at all? No,
Yeah, it's got his Ogre Club.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Seems like Pure Evil's having some PC issues here, or maybe internet issues.
It's a little bit unfortunate. And Zeus now with the Perseverance, probably just going to be working towards that refresher, would you imagine, after the Bloodstone?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could go like Octarine Core.
Octarine Core.
I wonder if it's better if you're just like defending high ground all the time to go Octarine Core.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of units you'll be hitting. There's a lot of things to spell steal.
It's like a 1.31 second cooldown, like Arc Lightning, if you have Octarine Core.
Pretty good for defense, then.
Yeah, you just spam. But that's like only one situation where I would say that going that over Refresher would be good. But if you were buying Octarine Core, you wouldn't go for Perseverance, because it's not in it, right? It's just Soul Booster and...
it's...
Staff of Wizardry, right? Is that what it's called? Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Oblivion? No.
No, not Oblivion Staff.
No.
The 25-int one.
This Mystic Staff.
Mystic Staff.
Mystic
Staff of Wizardry is 10.
Yeah, that's right.
I always get them.
Yeah.
I always get them mixed up. Yeah, but this could have been a situation for the item if you could afford it, but it's super expensive, right? It's even more expensive than a Refresher, isn't it?
It's more expensive than a Skadi. It's
yeah, it's insane. But I was just like theorizing because on most heroes like Zeus, Refresher is almost always better, like on Tide and Enigma and stuff like that. Unless I guess you have like Midas or something and you want to try to maximize the efficiency of those items, for the sole reason that a double ulti in a team fight late game is almost always better than flat cooldown reduction, because you only need those big ultis to turn one fight.
Yeah.
You don't need it like over the course of time. So it kind of excludes a lot of heroes' usefulness, you know? It's like, okay, well, big ultis like Warlock, you would never get Octarine Core because Refresher is always better, you know? But if you're just defending high ground and you're spamming a lot, then Octarine Core is great for a hero who already has relatively low cooldown spells. So just a cool way to think about it, I guess. Kind of like the old Tinker Ags, where it's like, when would I ever make this item? Oh, when I'm sitting at my base for like 50 minutes and I can't do anything, so I just spam rockets everywhere. Just a cool thing to think about, because Dota is such a situational game.
I mean, you know the Tinker, do you think we'll see the Tinker anymore now? The fact that the laser, the old Ags, that's a what? That's a full team 4.5 second blind duration if you get a look at, you know, if they're all close.
Yeah,
that's a lot of blinding.
I mean, it could be really good.
Yeah.
And it also kind of gives you the same durability that a Bloodstone gives you, but it also is significantly less regen because it doesn't have any regen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't give you as much mana as a Bloodstone gives you. But I guess they did reduce rearm by 25. Maybe that's enough to offset the difference between Bloodstone, like base mana, and Aghanims. Because I think, what, Aghanims is like 280 mana? Something like that. I can just check. I can open the shop. I can cheat.
Yeah, it's 28. No, it's not that much.
Yeah, it's 280.
Oh, okay.
Because it's
With
13 mana per int, and it's
yeah.
10 int and 150 mana, so yeah. 280. And Bloodstone is still 400. So, yeah. Still quite a bit of mana lost.
All right. Well, apologies, ladies and gentlemen, of course, for this pause. Hopefully we'll be able to get ourselves straightened away as soon as possible. The fact that he's obviously DC'd once before and came back means it's probably not too bad. Or maybe that means it's worse if he's
I have
gone
no
to
idea.
outside.
They haven't even said anything, I don't feel.
They haven't. We haven't had a message.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going on. It could be the classic one, wasn't it? Someone's gran rang them, didn't they?
That was Complexity.
That was Complexity. We had a pause because someone's gran was on the phone. So maybe that's what this is, you know?
Well, yeah, but you wouldn't DC from the game to talk to somebody on the phone, would you?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, that's what the pause feature is for.
That's true. That's true.
It's like, hold on, grandma, F9.
F9.
Just give it the old wait out, you know?
Okay.
And just go back.
Apparently, yeah, we've just been updated. They are ringing him in real life on his phone to see what's going on.
So his internet actually probably
So
went
that
out.
means his internet's gone down, which isn't good.
Yeah.
It's not good. Yeah, he's restarting.
But
it.
he's making
Okay.
sure it's plugged in.
Yeah.
He's going to turn it off and on.
again.
Yep.
That normally does the job.
We have read through all the top 10 troubleshooting for any internet company.
Absolutely. We could work. We could do that.
Yeah.
I mean, if casting goes to pot, that's
Are you sure
That's
your
what it will
internet
be.
is on?
pretty much the first question they ask you, isn't it?
It is.
And then have you turned it on? And then you're always like, yeah, I've done it. And they're like, well, can you do it anyway? And then you just kind of put the phone there for a couple of seconds. Like, yeah, I've done it now.
They've
And they're
never
like,
given
oh, yes,
you-
we can see on our side you've reset the internet.
Yeah. They never give you the benefit of the doubt.
No, they don't.
You call and they just immediately assume you are potato tier intelligence.
Which, to be fair, they probably do get a lot of potato tier people ringing them, so you can't really blame them.
That's
But
probably fair. There's probably people watching now who work in those call centers. And
Probably is.
You don't even know the horror stories. It's like people don't even plug in their routers, stuff like that. They call. And it's like, is your stuff plugged in? It's like, oh, I didn't know I had to plug it in. I bet you there's those type of people out there.
God bless them.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Well,
The world must be an exciting place if that's where you lived.
what, if
Not
you
knowing
lived in
that
a
you
call
had to
center?
plug in a router.
It would be, wouldn't it? I mean,
It'd be a much
it's
simpler
just-
place.
It would be. Without Dota. Without
It'd be a happier place.
without Dota.
Less
There'd be a lot more
rage.
peace.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. I don't know. Dota can bring out the happy side of some people.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
It's funny because
Sometimes.
they had this thing. I think it was a post on Reddit today where it was meanwhile in nice MMR, and some guy asked if somebody could buy him a TP, and 4 people on the team bought him a TP, and there were just 4 TPs sitting in the well. I was like, I would want to play in that MMR. That is the dream.
Do we know what MMR this was?
No idea. They didn't say. It was just because
Nice MMR.
they always make those posts titled meanwhile at 1K or 2K or something, and they show something totally awful, like somebody
But this was
picking
something
up.
positive.
Yeah, but this is something cool.
Yeah.
It's like the people at low MMR actually have fun with the game, and they're just like, don't worry about
I
it.
mean,
You're
you could argue that, couldn't you? Yeah. If
Dota is
you're
one
that,
of-
if you're at that level, you're probably not like, oh, I must win every game. You know, you're not going to be angry and aggressive to your team. You're going to be chilled out, and you're like, we lost, whatever. We'll just play the next game.
Dota's one of those games where the better you get, the less enjoyable the game actually becomes.
Okay.
It's one of the few games that are like that. If you think about it, a 6K player gives up at 5 minutes into the game, and a 1K player does whatever they want and they have a blast.
It's true.
That's how they get you. Because by 6K you're just addicted, you know.
Yeah.
You're just you need it
it's a way of
intravenously,
life.
or otherwise you just can't go on.
Yeah.
But at 1K, it's just the gateway, you know.
But indeed, you probably don't stay at one. You would progress past the fun stage. I mean, not many people. I don't know. You still have fun with the game, don't you, Draskell?
No, I do. I do have fun with the
Yeah,
game, but I just mean
it's on a different level.
it's harder to clown off when you play in semi-serious games, you know, because people get mad when you do it. It's some people want to win, some people want to have fun, some people are Shane. Yeah, Shane just gave me the thumbs up. He's like, yeah, I just want to have fun.
But I mean, for those games where you want to have fun, you don't go ranked, do you? Or is it just as bad you find if you do unranked? People are still very much.
It's kind of hit or miss for
Yes,
both.
you
It's
can get-
sometimes you get those games where everybody's kind of chill. It's yeah, okay, even if I'm losing, I'm not having a bad time, you know? It's pretty cool. But then you get games where people just tilt after one thing. You won't give them the bounty rune and they're just all right, AFK jungle, 75 minutes. It's oh my God. Or you first pick your hero and then 3 other people pick another hero that does your role and click on your lane, and that's like.
What do you do in that kind of situation, Joe? Some advice.
You
for
leave.
people out there. You leave the game.
And then you just play another game.
But then aren't you as bad as the people who?
Well, here's the thing.
Do you not try and be the bigger person?
We're remaking the game.
Be the bigger man, the better person.
Just so people know. But I think it's not even necessarily about like being the bigger person, as it is like everyone else is also kind of wasting their own time. So you're taking the bullet, right?
Okay.
Like you're tanking the abandon, so everyone else can potentially go onto a game that might be better than the game that you're in right now. That's how I see it.
So you're being the good guy.
Or I just want to go mid and screw everybody else.
So why don't you just play with the game and share mid with 2 other people?
Oh God.
I mean,
I've done that before.
Did it go well?
No. Believe it or not, we lost.
What was the mid lane composition?
I think it was like Shadow Fiend, Pudge, Storm, something like that.
Wow.
It's like 3 people wanted to go mid in one game.
This happens at 5k MMR? Was this?
Like 5.8 or something right now.
The trench never ends.
Yeah, because when people, like this was before they added in like the highest MMR being shown.
Yes.
So it was
do you
like,
find people do respect that at your level?
Yeah, it's better. It is better. Like it's undeniably an improvement, at least for mentality of players. Like if they see somebody who's like 6.5k, they'd be like, that guy's like either gonna play 1 or 2 role. And then
they'll just accept it.
Yeah, it's like, all right, whatever. You know, you can have your mid or your safe lane. But before, everyone would spam mid and safe lane, like click on the mini-map thing. And then if you weren't the first person in line, you weren't getting the lane. And at the very least, if you picked another hero that went there, the other person wouldn't leave. Like you would just do a lane.
They'd just do it anyway.
Yeah.
Which I guess it's always better to suck it up in that situation and just go support.
Well, sometimes you have to. Like if you're playing ranked, especially like if you want to win and you want to climb, like sometimes picking the hero that the team needs is the best way. And that's kind of how I recommend to climb, because there are a lot of games that you will lose at the pick screen. And
so for you, what you're saying is the picking, the drafting is
absolutely.
really important in
It's
ranked.
super important. It's more important, like even I think
your individual player skill on a certain hero.
Yeah, it definitely is, because it doesn't matter if you have like the best AM in the entire universe. If the enemy team picks Brood, and you have like a Lich support, you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna have a really bad time, and there's nothing you can do to outplay that.
No.
I mean, you can sit there and you can like try to farm your best, but there's a good chance by 20 minutes your entire bottom lane's gonna be dead because your Lich doesn't buy detection. And he's going to be hitting your tier 3 tower, and your mid's going to be going, how do you lose 2v1, Kappa? And then you just cry a little bit inside and move on to the next game.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess when you normally play, do you normally play the position 1 or 2?
Yeah, if I can. It depends, though. I like off lane as well.
Yeah. I mean, if you are forced into a situation where you play support, do you have a go-to support that you find is fairly easy to do and is pretty strong at the moment?
A go-to support.
Go-to support.
I love playing Rubik.
Yeah.
But there's so many games where he's not impactful enough on his own. Like some people pick junglers, for example, and then Rubik is like, I have to kind of sit in my lane or hope that my mid or my top lane have a hero that can actually kill if I lift. Because a lot of the times that happens where you have like a SF mid maybe with Rubik you can kill because you can land like a triple raise really easy. But that requires the SF actually being able to land his raises, which believe me is apparently a lot harder than it looks. I've had some bad experiences with Shadow Fiends.
I mean, what is your advice if you're in a game like this and indeed you say you have bad experience with Shadow Fiends? Do you tell him that he's doing rubbish, or do you just kind of
you don't say anything. I mean, if he,
just let him be.
Like, I used to be that guy where if he missed,
you'd be like, what?
I was like, how did you miss on lift? But I've gotten better.
Okay.
A little bit better. Now I will ignore it. But if something like super terrible happens,
you will point it out.
I'll be like, all right, man. Usually I'm okay, but like seriously. There are times when I can't hold it in.
And does that make them play better, Draskell?
No, of course not. But it makes me feel better.
Even if you lose.
If you lose.
You know, it's all right. That guy was an idiot. We can put it all on him. And you got to tell him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you find when you tell these people that they're playing bad, are they grateful? I mean, they're like, oh, okay, sorry, or do you get a mixture of people who are apologetic and angry, or would you say more?
Maybe one out of every 10 people is apologetic. Usually it's something in all caps in Russian is something that they rebuttal with. I don't even know what it is most of the time.
I mean, it might be apologetic in Russian.
Maybe he's yelling that he's really sorry.
I'm really sorry.
I'm really, really sorry. That sounds reasonable. So apparently we have rehosted the game. Basically Unknown are going to be using Slavi now, so they're going to be using double stand-in instead.
Slavi's not part of a team, is he? Doesn't ring a bell.
I've seen his name before.
I think he might have stood in before for...
Yeah, he probably stood in before. Somebody playing at the ASUS Huh? Oh, he got kicked.
Oh.
It's not official. Okay, so this is like one of the first games.
Thanks for telling us on stream.
All right, we're back.
If we're not meant to say it. So ignore that. No one got kicked. Sorry.
Yeah, but they don't know if we're referring
guys.
to one person or the other.
Yeah. We
So
might be talking about Shane.
Yeah,
Shane.
I would kick him from my team. Are you kidding me? Look at him.
He's off the show.
Unbelievable.
Right. We're back
Walking
on.
courier
We're
mode.
back on. Oh god. Well, that's a little bit unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's not great. That's a few. It's 100 gold. I'm sure they can afford it. Basically, I know. It's not great, but right. Back on. Witch Doctor. He's got a lot of money in the bank anyway. This Witch Doctor, he's only about 330 gold away from his Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah.
So this is, I mean, basically unknown. They have certainly got all the tools to deal with the aggression that Empire are going to be applying.
It's not a matter of like them not being able to go late game. It's just their item timings are so important. Like we spoke about the gyro BKB. Like Nico absolutely needs BKB at this stage in the game if he wants to try to take a fight and be confident in his ability to win, especially when you're up against Aegis on Empire.
Oh, there's going to be a roar here onto the poor old Shadow Demon. I think it's about the third roar he's taken to the face this game, and again, easy pickoffs on the supports there for Resolution.
Yeah, I mean, this is the strength that having full vision gives you. He's so fast.
He is. They don't have any. They don't have the roar to control him. It looks like he's going to be all right. Backs up. We'll have to back up with Nico, Baby, and the Zeus.
I was actually speaking about Resolution.
All right.
Because he has like the movement speed aura from the Necro Creep, so he's like 446 movement speed. It's quite fast. Are you... Shiver's actually like...
I don't know what's
I'm not even
going
going to ask. Never mind. They can't see it in the studio anyway. It's not important.
What are you doing?
It's not important.
Oh, okay. We're not going to talk about that. Right, anyway. Bottom lane, the tier 2 is getting pushed down. And that's going to be some more tasty gold there for the Lycan as he claims the tower hit. And on his road to the BKB, how are we seeing him do? Let's have a look at the old Lycan. Let's see what's he got. He's got 2.1k gold, so I mean, if it is going to be BKB that he opts for next, it's going to be on the way fairly shortly.
That probably will be. I mean, he could maybe delay it and go like AC or something, but I think BKB is probably the right call. Because a 10-second BKB going into tier 2s and high ground is going to be way better, I think, than any other item. Just not being able to get disabled by anything but Axe Call. And Death Ward isn't really even that scary. Well, I guess he does have Aghanims. Maybe it is a little bit scary for him. Hard to say, though, because you can still see their movement. They're not really using the map that efficiently because they can't see anything. It's so hard to play into zero vision. Thank God they have a Zeus, because every time they Zeus ulti, they know that at least they can, okay, we can farm one lane, you know, instead of a normal team that would just have to sit AFK in base and wait.
Indeed, they're backing up. They've just got the Zeus ult to scout them out.
Yeah, there's
become
vision.
fairly passive now. Oh, as I say that, Resolution wants to go for someone to Nico with the familiars and the walls coming in as well. The whole zoo turns up. And that is your gyro down for a minute. And this gyrocopter does not have buyback, so you're going to be losing some towers here potentially.
Your buildings are definitely going MIA. This is Visage double book 3 with Beastmaster Aura push. This is insanely hard to stop without your gyrocopter. Even with an Axe Call, they don't have a lot of wave clear. Like, they need the Axe to pretty much tank up everything, and that's pretty scary.
And the poison starts to come out. Rise brings down one of the Necro units, does take the pure damage burst to the face. He's spamming out those Arc Lightnings, trying to do what he can to stop the push, but it's not enough. There's going to be the tier 3 going down, and Empire, they might choose to step it up and go for the Rax here, and indeed Silent heading up to the high ground, takes a paralyzing cast to the face. The Wolves come out with the Howl. That is going to be the melee Rax in the mid lane, potentially going down. Well, there's going to be a big call here. There's going to be the dunk onto the Rubik. Silent will fall, has got the Aegis, the Supernova coming down and taking down the Death Wolf in the high ground, doing a fair bit, but it's not quite enough. Shashlo will go down to the Familiars here, as that is the Axe down from this defense. Now Silent, he's thinking about going in here with the ultimate. Primal Roar back and available. Thunder God's Wrath bringing the Beastmaster very, very low, so he isn't going to be able to re-initiate. And now with the poison stacking up onto Visage, he's going to have to back up, but at the same time, Shamanan, these Familiars just doing absolute work against the Shadow Demon. They might even bring him down. They're going to be back in a few seconds. Shamanan's just like, guys, I need to get out of here. And he will be able to back up. And looks like they will try and bring down the Familiars here. They'll find one, they find two, and they'll find three there. So a very nice clean up there, the Familiars, but Visage, yeah, he has the ability to recall them, and he does do straight away.
Yeah, they got the Rax, and they only lost an Aegis and a support hero. So for Empire, definitely the play. That is what you want. There's still some time before the Gyrocopter is going to have BKB. He still needs around 1,500 gold to complete it. And this bird does so much damage. Visage has Ags and Solar Crest on top of that. Oh man, it's so hard. Oh my god, Beastmaster already has Refresher.
Wow.
All right, so 2 books, double roar.
Okay.
This is tough.
This
is actually so hard right now.
Very tough. I mean, they're 50, it's about coming up to 16,000 in terms of gold ahead. It's just about 6k in XP, but still, this is a lead that Empire have created and pretty much maintained for the last 20 minutes of the game. Basically, they're going to need something huge to turn this one around. They're going to try and look for some aggression for pretty much the first time in the last half of the game, as they all come down the mid lane here, trying to take a tier 2 of their own. Empire, they've got everybody apart from the Lycan. Lycan is now TP back to the tier 2 in the bottom lane, so he is around as well. And the God's Wrath comes out, and they know that Empire are here for the counter initiation, backing themselves up. Silent in the sidelines by the Ancients, setting the walls in. The ball slow onto Shashlo. They might be able to follow this up. There's going to be Blink Fall from Resolution. Storman and pops out the disruption. And he roars the Shadow Demon Illusion there. That was not the play there from Resolution.
It's fine. He's got only a 60-second cooldown. It's not too bad. Well, 65 or 70, excuse me. But it's not going to hurt Empire that bad in the end. Like, as long as they can keep a hawk up for vision.
Oh, look at these familiars, Andy.
Dear God.
Oh my goodness. That's a dead axe.
Yeah, that's dead.
That's
might even be super dead.
Well, he's got no buyback. I think that could be the Dota 2 classification as super dead. He's not coming back for 40 seconds, and Resolution, he's piling in the pressure here on the bottom lane.
Now there's BKB as well on Silent, like 10 seconds. He's got another 2,600 gold. I really think that basically Unknown might just lose another set of racks here. Like 30 seconds is a lot of time, especially when the enemy team doesn't have Glyph. Like, you just wait for a creep wave and you go. Like, Gyro might be able to clear this wave, but actually, if they clear this wave, they might have the time. Okay, just kidding. Look at that tower.
Yeah, the tower absolutely melts. Even though the side of Unknown have pretty much been able to wipe out the entirety of the summons and familiars push. But yeah, that's a tier 3 going down, and even though they didn't have the axe, you kind of feel that even with the 5-man, can basically Unknown just stop the damage getting through? I don't think they can.
Well, with the axe up, they can definitely fight. Like, Empire are fake backing right now, which is a pretty good play. Basically, Unknown seem to be very hesitant about farming, and there's no vision on the high ground here. Oh, they're just smoke into each other.
Smoke into smoke. Who's going to make the first jump? It's going to be Shashlo getting the call here onto Lohar does. Resolution will find the primal roar onto Shashlo. They bring him down. It's a 1-for-1. Supernova there from the Phoenix. The roar onto Nico there will be enough for Ivan to get out the Supernova. It's a triple kill for Silent. Nico's going to go down as well. It's only the Shadow Demon surviving. It falls as well. It's an ultra kill from Silent. And I've got to say, that Refresher primal roar there onto the BKB Gyrocopter, ensuring that he can't destroy the Supernova, has to be one of the biggest plays we've seen this game from the Beastmaster.
What else do you need to say? Resolution, what a player. Like, single-handedly made that fight just a complete stomp in their favor, like you said, roaring the Gyrocopter when I think there was only one auto attack left
It
needed.
was so close.
But he was also the only one hitting the egg for a very long time.
Yeah.
Like, for pretty much the entire time, he was the only one hitting the egg, and then, like, one other auto attack came in, I think, from one of the supports at the very end. But Empire, they got their stranglehold over the map with their Beastmaster. As soon as they bought the gem, they just continued having very aggressive wards. They abused the Hawk Vision. They found pick after pick after pick, and after a while, it's just... they couldn't leave their base. Like, basically Unknown just sat
really
there and they were like,
tried to, but it didn't work out.
On cooldown, they were using Zeus ultis just for scouting purposes, which is fine, because, I mean, if you're not going to be using them to fight, what else are you going to use them for? And it's not that long of a cooldown, but they could never really get the map control back from Empire. And off that, they just get 2 Roshans in a row. One of them was kind of a bit weird, because, well, Lycan just pretty much died on his own. But the second one they managed to get pretty much a Rax out of, so I'd say they effectively utilized that one. And still, Empire looking quite strong. I think maybe basically Unknown think about banning Beastmaster next game.
I was going to say, I mean, obviously Empire, they realized the power, picking it first. I think in reaction to that and after what's happened that game, you've got to ban the Resolution Beastmaster.
I think the hero just in general.
Yeah.
Like, even if Resolution wasn't such a good player, I would still ban it. It's just, it seems too good right now.
Well, that is it for the first game, well, the first half of the series today between Empire and basically Unknown. We're going to be back with Game 2 fairly shortly, and fairly exciting stuff. Hopefully you'll stick around for the next one. We're going to throw you over to some commercials, and then, of course, over to our hosts. And myself and Andy, we'll see you guys in a bit, so don't go anywhere.